A new world order. A new world order. A new world order.
Everything they built will fall, and from the ashes of their world, we'll build a better one.
That's not the right
got
jingle.
That Greta one? You got that Greta one?
I thought that was the Greta one, but this is the Greta one.
Oh.
CNN Politics exclusive. Top U.S. general tells CNN global international security order is at stake following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Here it is.
Has that increase in military support, in your view, increased the danger of direct conflict between the U.S. and Russia?
This is Mark Milley, by the way, and pay attention to the background noise.
Yeah, I actually think it's the opposite. I think that what's at stake here is much greater than Ukraine. What's at stake is the security of Europe. This is the greatest challenge to the security of Europe since the end of World War II. And indeed, you can easily make the case that what's at stake is the global international security order that was put in place in 1945. That international order has lasted 78 years. It's prevented great power war. And underlining that entire concept is the idea that large nations will not conduct military aggression against smaller nations. And that is exactly what's happened here, an unprovoked military aggression by Russia against a smaller nation. So if this is left to stand, if there is no answer to this aggression, if Russia gets away with this cost-free, then so goes the so-called international order. And if that happens, then we're ending into an era of seriously increased instability. So right now, now is the time, and right now is the opportunity here to stop aggression and to restore peace and security to the European continent.
So pretty important stuff.
Don't actually know what he said, but I'm sort of relaxed.
Yeah, that's that rain effect in the background there. It's the pitter patter lullaby is some would refer
That's
to
the official name.
No, there's some articles that relate or colorfully explain it as that. There's Emily Mendez, who's an MS for EDS, so just a psychologist, says rain has a regular, predictable pattern. Our brain processes it as a calming, non-threatening noise, which is why there are so many relaxation and meditation videos that feature the sound of rain. And it also talks about pink noise, has been getting buzz lately as the newest innovation in sleep therapy. A mixture of high and low frequencies. Pink noise sounds a lot like falling water. So there's like a hypnotic, relaxing, meditative quality.
Oh, so your point really is the rain in the background.
It is. That is the main point.
Okay.
Well, it is the point because it's all, you can look at it two different ways. One, they're lulling people to sleep. Hey, relax, calm down, while they say some of the most some important things. Basically, Millie's saying, "Hey, now is the most crucial point in whether or not the international institution, the world order that we established post World War II, will stay, or whether there will be total chaos, breaking out all over the world." And delivering it in a calm and relaxing, hypnotic way to suggest no panic. Don't panic. It's
World War III is about to start, and we started it. But just chill out. Listen to this pitter patter of rain.
It's
while I
so
do.
interesting. I don't know if this is obviously this isn't. It wasn't necessarily planned. I mean, I guess you can say that it was. Maybe there's those movie sets where they have the big hose that does the rain.
It's the scaffolding, the drip scaffolding.
Yeah, maybe that's what's going on next to Millie over here under the tent. But I thought it was an interesting clip. It just sort of referencing World War III in such a calm and gentle manner on CNN. Yeah. And this this whole interview had sort of a new, more like hardcore reporting vibe to it. So like CNN
it does have like a bit of a straightforward feel. They're like working that in. But it's funny. It's not every report.
No, it's
like it's they're working it in to kind of try to try to make that shift without totally scaring away all the CNN viewers who want to be enraged.
Yeah. Well, meanwhile, while this is happening, the U.S. is in steady decline, according to Iran. This is IranInternational.com. Iran's supreme leader says U.S. is getting weaker day by day. And it says Iran's supreme leader Ali Khamenei says the United States is losing its power and getting weaker and weaker as a new world order is being shaped. Interesting how some people use the phrase New World Order in the, hey, this new thing is happening, while others use it as, we must preserve the New World Order that we've, like the West has created. This is ours.
Yeah,
mostly led by the U.S. In a meeting with a group of university students and representatives of student associations in Tehran on Tuesday, Khamenei said that the world is on the threshold of a new global order that will replace the monopolar and bipolar world. Quote, today the world is on the eve of a new international order that has been in the making following the era of a global bipolar order and the theory of a unipolar world order, which during America has been becoming weaker and weaker. He added, the events of the recent war in Ukraine must be viewed more deeply and in the context of the formation of a new world order, which will probably be followed by complex and difficult processes. All right. What are you talking about there? And to help us lead through this change, this shift, Basil, don't worry, we have some young global world leaders to help us through it. The latest list of young global leaders.
All these old global leaders.
The gerontocracy.
Some fresh blood.
Yeah. Remember Peter Thiel saying down with the gerontocracy? Well, this is how you fight it with the World Economic Forum's young global leaders list. And by the way, some notable names from the past include Elon Musk. Who else? Well, there's a bunch of people. Justin Trudeau.
I don't think I had heard of Elon Musk before. I mean, it makes sense. I don't doubt it. But.
There was. I looked it up, and there's definitely an association there. Obviously, Putin was part of it.
Yeah,
Ivanka
Putin
Trump,
was one.
Macron, Leonardo DiCaprio, Mark Zuckerberg, and Peter Thiel. Remember Peter Thiel 2 weeks or at the Bitcoin conference? Down with the gerontocracy. He's part of the young global leaders list. That makes sense.
I didn't know that either. Peter Thiel and Musk. They must have met. They must have rushed together.
Yeah, they met.
Rushed, right? That's a fraternity thing. I don't know. I shouldn't do that stuff.
They were in the food hall.
Rush week.
Yeah,
they were getting paddled and doing stunts.
They got trapped in the same closet. Okay, all right. So some of the new announcements here we have from the Business Insider Africa. Meet the 13 Africans who made the 2022 World Economic Forum Young Global Leaders list. We're not going to go through the list right now, but more of the broader point of Africa and Afrofuturism that we've been tracking for a little while. It's this idea that they're going to help bring Africa out of its current state of, not just
it's developing in nature.
The
they
developing
want to speed
nature.
up the development,
right?
And also steal all their resources and get their cheap labor and.
Yes, the UN went in there and tried to modernize Africa, but instead, basically, took over and then left them for dead, basically. But now we're going to go help them again, these young global leaders, and 13 Africans being chosen for that, which is again leading to this idea that they're going to continue to develop Africa in this new technological new world order. We also have a couple from Ukraine. We have Edelweiss Mutual Fund CEO Radhika Gupta. I guess that's and Ukrainian Vice Prime Minister and Minister of Digital Transformation Mikhailo Fedorov were named as the World Economic Forum 2022 list of young global leaders. So Minister of Digital Transformation of Ukraine.
That sounds about right. Leader. That sounds like a good get for Klaus there.
He's stoked about that one. A couple Aussie ladies, Aussies, they did well during the lockdown with their compliance and
they were obedient.
They were very obedient, so they get a couple ladies in there. Let's see who. And I found this website, which I think is going to be a tool for us moving forward, Basil, is the younggloballeaders.org/community page. And there's a search bar. So you can type in, certain people's names and find out if they are involved or if they have some kind of profile in the database here. Did I spell Justin Trudeau right?
Do we know how many there are?
I don't know total. I know that they've had people chosen for decades, since like the 80s or something.
Yeah, right.
So,
but you hear that somebody was a young global leader. Like Putin is no longer, allegedly.
Right.
Don't worry, everybody. I just typed into the search bar Gonzo Shimura. He is not on the list.
Oh, good. Thank you. Yeah. No, haven't gotten a letter from Klaus yet, so looking forward to that. So if you go to the Young Global Leaders website here, it talks about who they are. Aligned with the World Economic Forum's mission, we seek to drive public-private cooperation in the global global public interest. We are united by the belief that today's pressing problems present an opportunity to build a better future across sectors and boundaries.
Yeah, that's across boundaries. Yeah. Don't cross boundaries.
No, they're only allowed to do it in the name of the global public interest,
right, and it's for their own good.
Yeah, it's for their own good. Yeah.
I'll violate your boundaries, world, because it's for your own good. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a problematic way to think about it.
Yeah, and I came across the leadership here, and obviously Klaus is there, founder of the Forum of Young Global Leaders. And next to Klaus, and I think I might have known this just sort of coming across the info, but I did a little more of a deep dive. Nicole Schwab, I'm guessing, is Klaus's daughter. I don't think it's his wife. I'm guessing.
Can we figure it out?
His wife.
We shouldn't guess.
She is. Her title is Co-Head Nature-Based Solutions.
What's her name?
Nicole Schwab.
Nicole Schwab. Okay. All right. Tell me about this. Nature-based solutions. So is she like a pothead or something?
Member of the Executive Committee, World Economic Forum, Switzerland. So she's basically the top of the ladder other than Klaus when it comes to the young global leaders and I guess the nature-based solutions. You go to the World Economic Forum page of Nicole Schwab, and it says Masters in Public Policy, Harvard Kennedy School, MA in Natural Sciences, Cambridge University, formerly worked on health sector reform projects in Latin America, World Bank, and the Ministry of Health in Bolivia, founding director of the Forum of Young Global Leaders. So she is the founding director, co-founder and president of EDGE Certification Foundation, a global scheme certifying organizations for closing the gender gap in the workplace, facilitator and strategic advisor to nonprofit organizations active in reforestation, well-being, and women's empowerment, author of The Heart of the Labyrinth, a spiritual parable offering a message of earth-centered wisdom. And I thought, because the other stuff is kind of like, all right, some pretty prestigious formal education and
standard elite education,
eco-elite warrior type of stuff. But they include The Heart of the Labyrinth, a spiritual parable. And of course, I had to read the description of the book. Did you want to read that, Basil? It deserves a little bit of a dramatic.
All right, reading. I was fact checking here. Nicole Schwab is Klaus Schwab's daughter.
Okay, good. All right. Yeah. So my guess was correct.
Let me get to the book, The Heart of the Labyrinth.
Yes. Nicole Schwab.
The Heart of the Labyrinth.
By the way, written, published by Womancraft Publishing.
Yeah, wow, 2014.
Yeah.
Womancraft Publishing. Okay. The Heart of the Labyrinth. Reminiscent of Paulo Coelho's masterpiece, The Alchemist, and Lynn V. Andrews' acclaimed Medicine Woman series, The Heart of the Labyrinth is a beautifully evocative spiritual parable filled with exotic landscapes and transformational soul lessons. As everything she thought she knew about herself disintegrates, her health, career, family, and identity, Maya embarks on a journey of discovery to the land of her ancestors. There, A mysterious sage guides her through dreams, visions, and lifetimes to the heart of the labyrinth, coming face to face with her subconscious belief that being a woman is a threat. She understands that to step into wholeness, she will have to reclaim the sacred feminine fire burning in her soul. What is at stake far exceeds her individual life. With it sits the fate of the earth herself, waiting for the priestess to be reborn. A grand, soul-shifting answer to the hungry soul's question. Who am I? Maya's story calls us back to a sacred, personal connection with the earth. Nicole Schwab is a mesmerizing new voice for our times, offering a message of earth-centered wisdom, reuniting us with the divine feminine. Nicole's work is in the tradition of many spiritual teachings, using story or parable as a vehicle for transmitting profound truths direct to the soul. And in the tradition of many women's writings, she blurs the lines between traditional genres of fiction, nonfiction, and poetry. She weaves stories within stories. Dreams, visions, and different lifetimes are blended in a rich, satisfying narrative which nourishes the spirit and mind. Sounds pretty good to me, man.
This is the lady handpicking your next presidents, world leaders, world bankers.
Yes, the young world leaders are being chosen by this.
These are the next presidents of countries and political leaders and cultural leaders and stuff.
Real quick, along the lines of what you pointed out with the clip from earlier, the raindrop clip, the hypnosis of the sort of scary news and the calming raindrop sounds. Nicole Schwab is a mesmerizing new voice for our times. I mean, it's obviously somebody had a thesaurus while writing this, but also to be a mesmerizing voice is something very specific.
Very powerful.
You can capture the public with the thrall of your voice, the hypnotic way of communicating to get people to have some sort of earth journey. To have a mesmerizing voice is a very good quality for somebody who's sort of in charge of guiding the elite power structures of the future.
Yeah. And keeping in mind, just as a reminder, if you're, sort of new to this info, we did have Klaus Schwab talk about infiltrating governments. And
No, not infiltrating, penetrating.
Penetrating.
Not a good enough reason to use that word. And also, his feminist daughter, I wonder what she thought of him using such a sort of evocative word.
Maybe that's what she's rebelling against.
Perhaps.
So yeah, there you go. There's a lot of stuff. There wasn't like one story, but I thought it was an interesting journey to go from, to tie it all together. Sort of the World War III narrative tied in with the organization, the institute that nobody voted for and nobody put into power, at least in America here. We didn't vote for anybody to do this.
Arguably the most powerful organization in the world that nobody voted for, is entirely funded by, secretive sort of, backroom deals, and is comprised of, quote unquote, the most important elites of past, present, and future.
Yeah.
So it's awesome.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, there you go.
Just add another character to the list, I think we'll have to keep track of Nicole Schwab as she continues on her journey to, shape the world through the young global leaders.